Hello, my people. Welcome to the Transform You Live Show, the only show where you can make real life and business transformation, harnessing the power of optimism, hope, and faith. And today we got a very exclusive show for you today. I'm very excited to have this guest and to be able to introduce their brand new online dating website. Maybe you have heard about it, maybe you have not. I know I've heard about it, but I'm geeked to learn out more about Data Furry. So again, Data Furry is a brand new online dating website for the furry fandom, whose goal is to seek short and long-term relationships. And I have today with us Mr. Nathan, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the furry fandom and the Data Furry website that is going to, connect those furries out there. So how's it going, Nathan?
Yeah, it's going fine over here.
That's outstanding. Splendid. So, Nathan, in your own words, tell us a little bit about, Data Furry and maybe give us a little backdrop about the furry fandom so that we all are on the same page here so we know what's going on.
Yeah, so basically what Data Furry is, it's just like any ordinary sort of dating site, but instead of like traditional websites where it's more of like young adults to adults like ourselves, obviously it doesn't seem to actually target the groups where they're actually into the furry fandom section. So obviously there isn't a large market in terms of like these furries from across the globe, really. Are trying to seek these websites for dating, if it is like for friendship or long-term dating. But obviously, unfortunately enough, right, there isn't. I'm sure you got like sites like Facebook and Twitter, but I mean, it doesn't give that kind of connection where you can actually get a chance to rectify, say, well, this is the type of person, who suits my interest. But obviously, the country could be a problem, it could be based on income. We wouldn't know. Is there a type of interest where the dislike and like? That comes into a factor.
Oh, that's very interesting. And and come to think about it, I have yet to discover or run into like a site like this, and I find it very compelling and it's very brilliant on you guys' part to identify this type of market. What type of reaction or what type of anticipation have you gotten from audiences out there or those who have discovered that like you guys are doing this?
Well, basically up to now, we actually had about over 100, 200 people on Twitter following us,
Mm-hmm.
and about 6 subscribers on a YouTube channel. Over an outside called Furry, we've got about 75 people watching us. Obviously, we watch over about 2,000 people in order just to try and market the actual site and in order to bring awareness on what the site's all about. Obviously, we actually had our first donation of £40 from a user in Discord. Even though it's very rare, we even ask people to donate towards our project. Normally we just invest our own savings into this idea. But I mean, anyone's welcome to come and invest, as much money as they want. We're very appreciative for it.
Yeah. Now, those who's going to use the site, you mentioned some of the challenges that they were coming across with like some of the more traditional sites. Now, what can they expect when they utilize you guys' site? Is it going to be a little bit more easier or will they still have like some of the because like sometimes online dating sites get a real bad rap, and
that's true. Yes,
like from being ghosted to catfish and all these other crazy things.
Yeah, of course. Like with most dating sites, sometimes it's full of bots. Sometimes these person who you think is legit, there's been stories when they're not. These fake profiles could be they're quite young, but then obviously it's a predator. There's no safety. All these dating sites, the ones we normally advertise, are in for the money. They're not in for the safety, even though they always claim that they're in for safety, but technically you're not. That's the reason why these furry sites are non-existent, because people thought, oh, I'm not going to join this site because where's the safety net? All they care about is where's the money? Where's the money? Oh, we want to make money. We're not here for safety. We're here for money.
Exactly. And I mean,
that's what this site was all about. It's not just about money. It's about bringing a community together for them to find friendship or a long-term relationship, and hopefully for them to meet and start a family through this sort of website.
Yeah, and man, when I think about some of you guys' competitors out there, some of the larger companies, what you just mentioned is exactly true. They're all about the money, and they spend like tons on like marketing and advertising, and then you go on these sites and you still don't find the person you want. And they try to tell you who you need, and it's just not safe. It's just not transparent. And I really appreciate you guys like coming on the show and really just standing up and telling us like, hey, this is the way it should be. This is the way it got to go. And in terms of safety, what type of verification system do you got for new users?
Oh, that's a good question, because it's like any other dating site when it comes to like safety measures in the place. Normally, it's your old traditional email verification where we just send like a random code. Where those we take in steps a lot further in order to try and protect like minors, like underage groups from joining our platform. Because considering that we were thinking about like, should we make this age friendly so that it doesn't matter what age you are. If you're out into the furry fandom, you're more welcome to join. But unfortunately, due to the laws and regulations, we had no choice but to set the age limit to 18 plus. So of course, in order to maximise that safety, any verification has to go through not just email but also phone verification. You have to mimic a certain pose, which obviously it's impossible to do because the ones we are trying to get made are the ones you can't find on the internet. So that way, no person can say, "Oh yeah, this person's me," when technically you're not.
Right. Oh, that's cool. Now, I know one thing is real huge out there is it's just data concerns, like when it comes to the PI, like personal information out there in cyberspace, and with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, there's always like these things about like cyber attacks and things like that. What are you guys are doing to kind of safeguard against those possible hacks?
Oh, that's a good question. Also, yeah, we do take safety quite serious in our platform anyway. I mean, it's just like you mentioned about like cyber attacks. When it comes to like making payments, but with those sort of problems, also we're using like providers like PayPal, for an example, or Stripe. Those sort of trusted website platforms, like taking payments for equipment and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a real good site there, so like, and you guys, when it turns to the type of the furs and furries you guys support, is there just one particular, fur you support, or are there multiple kinds? And maybe tell us a little bit, which ones?
Well, there's loads and loads of furry fandom types. I mean, I literally thought myself that there's only like one type until we actually looked up, and apparently there's like loads and loads of types of furry fandoms. The whole idea about being a furry is just like you're sharing your personality as an animal-related human. You could be anything you want, really. It helps you. How can I say it? It's like bringing your animal instinct to life, and then sharing it. But then most people just don't seem to care. Like there's no kind of ways to show interest, like community-wise. If you want a friendship or if you want a relationship with someone who shares that interest, where's the right site for it? There's nothing there for them.
Yeah, so the barriers are kind of like broken down a bit.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, what can you possibly do?
Yeah, exactly. Do you feel like that's like one of the main obstacles right now, like in terms of dating, is that like, you know, people are kind of like maybe holding back a little bit?
Yeah, normally there has been issues where furries are thinking, you know, oh, do I trust this person? You know, because like, I mean, there's loads and loads of furries out there. Anything from like people who make art furries, sonos, to people who can make actual designer costumes for the furry fandom. And I mean, the rates they charge, I mean, it's extortionate. You're talking about what, over £1,000 just for a head.
Yeah,
So that's about estimate about what, $1,300 in your currency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot, but obviously, you know, people who are actually that, you know, into and fixed mind into the furry fandom, they'll spend a great deal of money on these things because they're that interested into it. But then what they don't realize is what are they going to get in return for it?
Right, right.
You know, what's their goal? Like, you know, they buy this art or they buy these costumes, but what's their attention goals? Are they looking for people to role play by making friends, or are they actually looking for a long-term relationship to start a family?
Exactly. Man, like you're really answering some questions and like giving us really some insight into the world. In terms of like, you know, just the growing interest itself. Do you believe that this is going you know, this is going to grow more popularity into the mainstream, and that this will be like side by side with like just the everyday normal dating?
Well, there's a possible chance. I mean, if there's no other furry fandom dating sites out there, I mean, there's also one that I know about called furrymate.com. Unfortunately enough, also that is our competitor. When we looked into it, apparently people are complaining, saying that it's full of bots.
Yeah.
Which I
Well, we
thought,
hate
well,
bots.
well, unfortunately,
Yeah.
every single dating site is full of bots. That's the thing. Like, how can you tell if that person's a bot? You know,
Right.
that's what the AI does. It outsmarts those humans to think, oh, this person's legit, not
Mhm.
realizing it's an actual bot. But by you typing a certain keyword in, it's like an algorithm that tries to think, oh, I need to quickly think of a random message that sounds legit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
and
can't,
that's yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so basically can't seem to interact with a real human because there's no way to prevent bots. And then next minute we found out these YouTube videos about it. Well, what a surprise. All that site wanted, because here's the worst part, what we found about that site. It said join for free. Right, it's free, but when you want to receive a message from someone on this site, well, get your credit cards ready, people, because you're going to start paying.
Yeah, that's so true. You know, or there's a link that, you know, takes you to like a webcam girl or something, or a web, you know, like, you know, these, you know, those things are notorious. And you know, and I'm looking at you guys' site now. It seems like you guys did a real good job of filtering out that, and you guys are very straightforward. And, you know, you guys got a real true, you know, site. And I can really appreciate that, you know, and I see, you know, that you guys like, you know, got a 7-day free trial.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, in terms of like after, you know, after one joins the site, you know, and the gallery of the well the so this the official site, is it done? Is it ready?
No, it's not ready yet. We actually still work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason why we actually bought the domain name, just to prevent the name from being used.
Okay.
So
Okay.
even though it says like this domain is like, you know, it's pointing nowhere, yeah, there's a technical reason why. Is to make sure
Right.
that that the actual name doesn't get used. So that when the time comes to get the site launched and tested, then we've got the domain name ready to be used.
Awesome. Yeah. And you guys got a YouTube channel as well. You guys haven't added any content to the YouTube channel. But do you plan on adding content? in the future?
Well, the only time we actually upload content on YouTube is to like promote the site, or if there's any like success stories from people on the site. That's the only time really we would actually post on that site.
Okay.
Where sites like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc., it's more for like connection and marketing.
Mm-hmm. I understand it. Yeah. So if you could like kind of like tie this thing together and really put a put a last bug in our ear, far as to like give us something to take home with, and how we can either support the site or just the whole furry fandom. What words would you give us?
What, to support the site?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just basically like keep following our social accounts really. But I mean, if that people are desperate to get this site actually up and running, then donation is the key. Every little helps. Like Tesco's advert says, every little helps. But same again, we just don't really tend to ask for money. We just, it's down to that user if they want to, put their own funds into as an investment.
Brilliant. And speaking of the social media sites and accounts that you guys got, can you maybe tell us like where we can find you and where we can connect and follow you guys at?
Well, you can follow us on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, DeviantArt, and Furfinity.
Outstanding. All right. Well, like Nathan, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you today and be able to learn more about what you guys are doing and the awesome work that you guys are doing to like get this site up and running and to provide a well-knitted community that's going to be loving and supportive and put some new families together, So I'm looking forward to like the success that
some
it's going to have.
Families, yeah.
Yeah, some furry families, and have little furries running around. Right. So that's going to be great. So the site is the domain name is datafurry.com, for those who are listening or watching. And you can, where can they make the donation at? Well,
the donation goes to a PayPal account, which is actually linked to mine, because also I'm one of the financial managers.
Okay.
So I'm the one who deals with all like the money side of it. So like when it comes to like advertising, cost wise, admin, I deal with everything for them.
Okay. All right. So it'd be just best to like send a DM to like one of the social media accounts and we can get that information. Yep. All right. Perfect. Brilliant. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us today on the Transform You Live show. We just talked with Nathan, Data Furry financial manager, and again, the website is datafurry.com. Be on the lookout for that. You can make donations by sending the DM to Data Furry on Twitter. They also have date-a-furry date-a-furry on Facebook. You do a search on Facebook.
For words here, man.
Yeah. and on Instagram, Data Furry. Follow them on all of three of those platforms and send them DMs and find out how you can support. Man, do us a favor and do that right now and share this wonderful episode with someone someone you don't know, as it does help to further the message as well as the efforts of Data Furry. So until next time, I'm Marcus along with Nathan. Have a beautiful day, many blessings, peace, and lots of love. We are